The screen glowed like a betrayal in the dim light of our bedroom, casting harsh shadows across my face. My thumb froze mid-scroll as the photo loaded. My husband, Alex, his arms slung possessively around a woman I'd never seen, their smiles wide and intimate under a canopy of twinkling lights at what looked like a rooftop bar. The caption read, "Nights like these make everything worth it. #MyLove #forever." My heart slammed against my ribs, a visceral punch that stole my breath. Fury ignited in my chest, hot and immediate, but beneath it lurked something colder, humiliation like acid etching into my skin. How many likes? 57. Comments from mutual friends. You two are goals. I wanted to scream, to shatter the phone against the wall, but instead I sat there paralyzed, the world narrowing to that digital knife twisting in my gut. It was 2 a.m., the house silent except for the distant hum of the refrigerator downstairs. Alex was asleep beside me, his breathing steady and infuriatingly peaceful. I glanced at him, his face softened in slumber, the same face I'd kissed goodnight just hours ago. Denial crept in like a whisper. Maybe it's an old photo. Cousin. No, the timestamp was fresh. 3 days ago, during his business trip to Chicago. I clicked through her profile, Elena, a graphic designer from his office. Her feed a mosaic of art exhibits, coffee dates, and now my husband. More photos, them at a concert, his hand on her lower back. A selfie in a hotel lobby, eyes locked in a way that screamed secrets. Heartbreak clawed up my throat, raw and unrelenting. We'd been married 7 years. 7 years of building a life, a home, dreams of kids. And now this. Resentment boiled over, mixing with the sting of tears I refused to let fall. How dare he? How dare she? I slipped out of bed, the cool hardwood floor grounding me as I padded to the bathroom. The mirror reflected a stranger. Eyes red-rimmed, lips pressed into a thin line of rage. I splashed water on my face, the droplets cold against my fevered skin, but it did nothing to douse the fire inside. Obsession took root then, insidious and gripping. I spent the next hour hunched over my phone in the tub, scrolling deeper. Her posts from months back, subtle hints, a wine glass tagged with his favorite vintage, a weekend getaway to a cabin that mirrored one he'd cancelled on me. Guilt flickered at the edges of my mind. Had I missed signs? Work had consumed me lately, our conversations reduced to logistics. But no, this wasn't my fault. This was his choice, his betrayal. Cold resolve began to form, a steel rod in my spine. I wouldn't confront him yet. Not like this, raw and broken. I'd wait plan. Make him feel the weight of what he'd done. Morning came too soon. Sunlight filtering through the curtains like an unwelcome intruder. Alex stirred, stretching with a yawn that grated on my nerves. "Morning, babe," he murmured, reaching for me. His touch felt like poison, but I forced a smile, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "Morning. Coffee?" He nodded, oblivious, and I escaped to the kitchen. The aroma of brewing beans filled the air, masking the bitterness in my mouth. As I poured, my mind raced. Fantasies of justice played out in vivid detail. Smash his phone. No, too impulsive. Tell his boss. Ready. Something deeper. Something that would unravel him as he'd unraveled me. Doubt nipped at me. What if I was wrong? A glitch, a hack. But the evidence was damning. Each photo a nail in the coffin of our trust. Over breakfast, he chatted about his day. Meetings, deadlines. His words hollow echoes. I nodded, feigning interest, but inside resentment festered. How was Chicago? I asked casually, watching his face. A flicker, hesitation. Boring as usual. Just work. Liar. The word echoed in my head, suppressed rage tightening my grip on the mug until my knuckles whitened. Our kitchen, once a haven with its sunlit counters and herb garden by the window, now felt claustrophobic, the air thick with unspoken accusations. I excused myself to work from home, shutting myself in the study. The click of the door was a small victory, a barrier against his deceit. Hours blurred as I dove into research, My laptop screen a portal to vengeance. Forums on infidelity, anonymous stories of revenge. Some crude, others calculated. One woman's tale stuck. She changed her relationship status online, sparking a chain reaction that exposed her partner's lies. Simple, public, humiliating. My pulse quickened. Facebook, where it all started. With trembling fingers, I logged in, hovered over my profile. In a relationship with Alex Harper. Changed to single. The cursor blinked mockingly. Moral conflict surged. Was this fair? He hadn't just cheated, he'd paraded it. But revenge? It felt dark, a shadow self emerging. Fear whispered warnings. Divorce, fallout with friends. Yet obsession won. I clicked single. The update posting with a soft chime. No explanation, just the stark declaration. The notifications started almost immediately. Friends messaging. Everything okay? What happened? I ignored them, heart pounding as I imagined Alex's reaction. He'd see it eventually, our circles overlapped. Suspense built like a tightening coil, each passing minute amplifying my anxiety. I paced the room, the carpet muffling my steps, the scent of stale coffee lingering. Inner thoughts warred. This is justice. No, it's petty. But the humiliation he'd inflicted demanded reciprocity. Guilt gnawed, our marriage vows, the good times. Picnics in the park, lazy Sundays. Was I destroying that irreparably? By evening, Alex burst through the door, his face flushed. What the hell, Sarah? He waved his phone, the screen displaying my status update. The living room, with its cozy sectional and framed wedding photos, suddenly felt like a battlefield. Is this some joke? His voice cracked, a mix of confusion and defensiveness that fueled my cold resolve. I met his eyes, channeling the heartbreak into steel. You tell me. Who's Elena? The name hung in the air like smoke, thick and choking. He paled, stumbling over words. She's a colleague. Nothing more. Lies transparent as glass. Tension crackled, suspense hanging on his next breath. We argued into the night, voices rising and falling like waves. I saw the pictures, Alex. Captions. How long? He denied at first, then deflected, blaming stress, my distance. It's not what you think, he pleaded, his hands gesturing wildly, the vein in his forehead pulsing. But cracks appeared, admissions of emotional connection. One kiss. Heartbreak resurfaced, tears finally spilling as resentment turned to raw anguish. You humiliated me, I whispered, the words tasting like bile. He reached for me, but I recoiled, the touch repulsive. The room spun with sensory overload. The tick of the clock, the faint scent of his cologne mixed with sweat, the dim lamp casting long shadows that mirrored my fractured soul. As he stormed out, slamming the door with a resonant thud that echoed through the empty house, I sank to the floor. Obsession deepened. This wasn't enough. Changing my status was a spark. I needed a blaze. Planning began in earnest, quiet and strategic. I dig deeper, uncover more. Contact Elena. No, too direct. Instead, subtle sabotage, expose him at work or worse. Doubt lingered. Was I becoming the monster? Moral conflict twisted like a knife, but betrayal's sting overpowered it. The night stretched on, suspense building in the silence, foreshadowing the storm to come. Days blurred into a haze of feigned normalcy. Alex returned the next morning, apologetic flowers in hand. Roses, my favorite, their petals velvety but thorns sharp. Let's talk, he said, voice soft, eyes pleading. Dialogue unfolded over coffee, natural yet laced with manipulation. I messed up, Sarah. It was a mistake. Elena means nothing. His words revealed hidden motives. Fear of losing our life, the house, stability. But suppressed rage simmered in me. Prove it, I replied evenly, masking the cold resolve. He promised counseling, transparency. I nodded, but inside fantasies swirled, ruining his career, turning friends against him. I met Elena secretly, arranging it via fake profile. The cafe was bustling, clatter of cups and murmur of conversations providing cover. She arrived, poised in a sundress, her dark hair cascading like in the photos. "You must be Sarah," she said, voice steady but eyes wary. Tension heightened as we spoke, her side. Alex pursued her, said our marriage was over. "He lied to me too," she admitted, a crack in her composure revealing her own betrayal. Layered characters emerged. She wasn't the villain I'd imagined, but a pawn in his game. Guilt pricked me. Should I ally or destroy? Our conversation built suspense. Hints of alliance forming. "We could make him pay," she suggested tentatively. My heart raced. Was this the path? Back home, Alex noticed my distance. "What's wrong?" he asked during dinner, the clink of forks against plates punctuating the awkward silence. "Nothing," I lied, the word tasting false. Inner conflict raged. Forgive or avenge? Obsession tilted the scale. That night I hacked his email. Password guessed from old habits. Messages poured out. Love notes to Elena, plans for a future without me. Heartbreak renewed, fueling resentment. Planning intensified. I'd leak it all, anonymously. Fear of consequences loomed, legal, emotional. But cold resolve hardened. Subtle hints of vengeance emerged. I accidentally left his phone unlocked, notifications pinging from concerned friends. His paranoia grew, questions probing. "Did you tell anyone?" Suspense mounted, quiet calculations building toward retaliation. Moral grayness enveloped me. Was revenge justice or destruction? The answer blurred, but the pursuit consumed. The office party loomed like a storm cloud, an annual event Alex couldn't skip. It was the perfect stage. Colleagues, bosses, our intertwined social web. I'd RSVP'd yes, smile plastered on as we dressed. The mirror reflected us. Him in a crisp suit, me in a red dress that hugged my curves, a deliberate choice to remind him of what he risked. Sensory details assaulted. The sharp scent of his aftershave, the rustle of fabric, the distant city hum outside our window. Inside, obsession thrummed. Tonight, the slow burn would ignite. We arrived amid laughter and clinking glasses. The venue a sleek ballroom with crystal chandeliers casting prismatic light. Alex mingled, hand on my waist possessively, but tension crackled beneath. Elena was there across the room, our eyes meeting in silent accord. Earlier we'd plotted over encrypted messages. Expose him publicly but subtly. Moral conflict gnawed. Her hurt mirrored mine, but was this alliance wise? Doubt flickered, but resentment pushed forward. As speeches droned, I excused myself, heart pounding. In the bathroom I pulled out my phone, fingers flying. An anonymous email to his boss. Attachments of the affair's evidence, screenshots, timestamps. "Thought you should know," I typed, cold resolve steadying my tremble. Send. The whoosh sound was cathartic, suspense peaking as I rejoined the crowd. Alex's phone buzzed midway through dinner. He checked it discreetly, face draining of color. "What is it?" I asked innocently, fork midway to mouth. "Nothing," he muttered, but sweat beaded on his brow. Whispers spread. His boss approached, expression stormy. "We need to talk, Alex." The room's atmosphere shifted, murmurs rising like a tide. Suppressed rage in me bubbled as he followed, glancing back with pleading eyes. Elena cornered me later, voice low amid the jazz band's melody. "Did you do it?" Her eyes held a mix of admiration and fear. "We did," I replied, the words binding us in morally gray complicity. Dialogue revealed her motives. Not just revenge, but reclaiming power after his manipulation. "He promised me everything," she confessed, vulnerability cracking her facade. Tension heightened. Would he confront us? He did, pulling me aside to a balcony overlooking the glittering cityscape. Wind whipped my hair, carrying the faint scent of rain. "Sarah, what have you done?" His voice broke, revealing cracks. Guilt, panic. "You ruined us first," I hissed, raw emotion surging, anger, heartbreak, obsession. He admitted it all then, tears streaming. The affair started innocently, grew into escape from our routine. "I love you both," he sobbed, the confession a twist of the knife. Inner thoughts warred. Pity flickered, but resentment drowned it. "Choose," I demanded, suspense hanging. Back inside, chaos erupted. His boss announced discreetly. Alex was suspended pending investigation. Colleagues stared, whispers turning to outright gossip. Humiliation washed over him, mirroring mine from that fateful night. I watched, cold resolve masking the guilt gnawing inside. Was this justice? Or had I become vengeful, destructive? The drive home was silent, rain pattering against the windshield like accusations. "Why?" he finally asked, voice hollow. "Because you changed everything first," I said, the words laced with finality. At home, he packed a bag, the zipper's rasp echoing our fracture. As he left, slamming the door, a shocking twist hit. A message from Elena. It was me who sent the email. "You deserved better than half revenge." Betrayal anew, she'd taken the reins, her hidden motive. Not alliance but solo victory. Obsession shifted to her. Had I been played? In the empty house, poetic justice settled uneasily. Alex's career in tatters, our marriage dissolved. But at what cost? Psychological impact lingered. Guilt over my role, fear of isolation. The twist resonated. Revenge's consequences unforeseen, morally gray decisions looping back. Heartbreak evolved to resolve. I'd rebuild wiser, scarred. The screen glowed once more as I updated my status. It's complicated. But inside it was clear. Betrayal's cycle broken at last.